My name is Kyler Soult, and this will be my first flight on the PJ-50.
everybody. Welcome back to Motion RC Live for this April Fool's Day. I have no April Fool's joke for you. I apologize. I didn't even remember it was April 1st. I was so busy this week. But good to have you guys back. Again, first Friday of the month. So now the fourth show? Third show, because we started this February, March. The third show of the year, and there'll be plenty more as we go in the future. So want to say hello to everybody. I see George Watson there. Yeah, you got it right, man. Beautiful flying sight. Want to thank Jeremy Salt, that's Salt Productions, and that was his son, Kyler. Just, an unbelievable pilot, flying the PJ. Probably super easy for him at this point, but can't beat that background, the train in the background, all that action. Alex wants to get in his drone and gap it.
Sure.
He was up at FPV with a jet, try to go underneath the train if you could, but that wouldn't be too bright. But you Weedman, I see, Dad's RC Hangar, Air Guardian, what's going on? Med Scott, Thomas Rasmussen, Paul Ballard. How's everybody doing? Happy to be here and excited because we're going to get right into it. Today is the day. We're wrapping up the March Mayhem Custom Aircraft Challenge, which, entry period was 6 weeks ago. So we had a month of entries and now 2 weeks of voting. And happy to report we got 1,607 votes this year. Not quite as much as we had last year, but still, a ton of votes. And tallying them up, and my bracket was busted very early. I don't know about you.
Mine too.
We'll talk about it a little bit, but again, 1,920 points is a perfect bracket, and I had 340 points or something. So I was really low on the totem pole. So I say, again, we'll do the March Madness, probably the first 20 minutes, get through, announce our winners, and then we'll obviously tour the community and then get on to what should be a beautiful weekend, at least for us here in the Southeast. So you ready? Got March Mayhem up. So again, big congratulations to our 64. You guys have now seen this. This is what you all voted on. So let's get started in the lift division. And I just wanted to remind everybody, that's the top left, of who was in the division. So real quick, we'll show, all those, all those pilots. Do you want to show the matchup graphics or, you know what? Let's just get into it. We got the matchup graphics. Yeah, I was just like, just to refresh you real quick. We had, Chef Pro. We had these two Avantis were in this division. We had the two Helis, LT Power and Chris Rybert. We had a couple F-16s. This is where I tossed in most of the 90mm F-16s. I always like to try to pair up two gorgeous aircraft at the same time. So the next two, I think. Then we had, we only had one F-104. I think we only had one Mirage this time. So threw them together. That's where Victor was. What up, Nate? I see you. Michael Reiska. I think I said that right finally. I got it. Rudderman versus Canuck, battle of T-33s. And then to finish this division was, what was the big... Oh, no, we had more T-33s. Because, each division had a bulk of certain type aircraft. I'm almost forgetting. But these look beautiful. An L-39 versus a T-33. Then we had another Battle of Hawks. And then this is the final was, two F-14s were in here. The Kraken Releaser and Lookma. So that was our 16 entrants in this division. So let's get on with the results. So, again, we had 1,607 total votes. So in this first round, both of the numbers, this was like, everybody basically who voted on this round. So each number would add up to 1,607. So you can see right there off the bat who's advanced and who didn't. So there are some surprises. I know there's some surprises, but some of the big ones were LX Caliber, got a lot of votes in the first round. Kraken Releaser with a lot of votes. The guys who had 1,000 votes out of 1,600. So we move on to round two, and this is where it got interesting. So we have a heli. Actually, I think this is the farthest a heli advanced in the tournament. He ended up popping out over the Avanti. Customized, that would have been F-86 Crew Chief's Marbleized one, which is awesome. So then moving it across, it looked pretty similar though between the top voted, guys, 610 to 620. So we had Mikey P going against that helicopter. Mikey P had that Tiger Meat F-16 that you just saw. And then Kraken Releaser was moving on. I think Kraken Releaser is one of our guys he's had an aircraft in the entry in each tournament thus far. He's been here. Just like, and Snake, I'm sorry, I saw Victor's play, didn't make it out of the first round. I couldn't believe it. That F-104 is gorgeous. It's amazing. Like, that was one of the things that shocked me, because you never know how people are going to vote. So then moving on as we head to the final of the lift division. Who's good? So now this is the Elite 8, I guess, if you will. Kraken Releaser and Mikey P. So it turned out to be an F14 versus an F16. And who did you guys vote for if you had this? For one of our Final Fours and the, coming out of the lift division crown, turned out to be Mikey P with 261 votes to get in. So that is our first finalist. So if you were in that bracket, and again, when you check the link, that's what I want to repeat. Right at the end of the show, I'll update. So when you check the link, it's going to show you your score and, and your rank as far as the voting goes. I didn't want to do it before because then you'd see the winner and it kind of defeats the purpose of us having fun with the graphics. I spent so much work to work on, those little took a lot of work right there. All right, moving on. Let's get into bottom left-hand corner, which would have been the drag division. This one had all the F4s in it and, a lot of other good stuff. But we'll show you. We're going to go through the...
I'm just going to show them the names.
Yeah, those are our names. Ralph Stepper, our returning champ. He was the one who had the P38 that won last year. So we'll start there. He went in. It was a battle of the 262s. So we had his awesome customized bird. He said he's going to put more pictures of it once this tournament ends. So I hope I see it, when he does that. But that was a good matchup. Who else was in this? We had Delta Dart with that awesome picture with the patrol boat versus another gorgeous heli. We had a lot of helis in here. Then we had a battle of sports jets. This was the Scott Greenfield, which is awesome. We got that on. We're going to show that a little later. I got video of that. He posted video of that in the air. That's the Long Live and Prosper Vulcan versus a Digital Camo Rebel, which was great. Moving on. Oh, this was, that was my champ, Deef. Personally was the guy I put as the final. I love that LA7. I love how it's weathered. I went awesome. So I thought it was great. But I also love that Bearcat too. Then we had Manuel battle the Blues, the only yak and one of the only A4s, or maybe it was the third out of 3 A4s, so I had to stick it somewhere. But Manuel and LinkedIn looked good. And then the last 3 matchups were just battles of the F4s that made it. So we had High Staff versus Shark with like the gray schemes. Then we had these. I paired them up because the mountains. You had Jeremy Salt. That's Kyler's, who you just saw fly. That's his F4 versus, a Jolly Rogers F4, Dave G. Looks awesome. And then to wrap it up were 2 German schemes, I guess, if you will. One from Jets and Wings and one from Wings Over Wheels. Both in the, similar stances. So let's get on with the results of the drag division. So who did you pick out? Do you remember who you picked out of this division, Alex?
I think Dave.
You think you went Dave G?
Dave, yeah.
Wow, you went with the F4. I know where I went.
Wings, maybe. Might have been Robert.
Because I went out with the LA7, and I think I might have went with Jets and Wings. I thought the craziness. But that's the first round. Again, in each matchup, those 2 numbers will add to the 1607. And then the numbers dwindle because, not everybody picked right in the first round, so they're not voting in the second round, if that makes sense. So you move on. Ralph Stepper, though, moving on. I thought, could we have our first back-to-back champ, which would be awesome. And then we continue. So coming into this would put them in the Elite 8. No, this would put them in the Sweet 16 if they win this. So the Sweet 16 was Dave G took down Jets and Wings, which was big. People love Jolly Rogers. And then this heli did not make it as far as the one in the first round, but let's continue forward. This is the Sweet 16. So Ralph Stepper, Deef, Manuel, keep it playing. Let's move in. Alex got to stop it, but those are the votes leading us to our Elite 8. And then which guy did you vote in? So Ralph Stepper had a chance here, but unfortunately it turned out to be Dave G taking it down. He is our second Final Four. So if you had Dave G and Mikey P on the left side of your bracket, you were scoring good out there. Gorgeous picture, just a gorgeous F4. I know John Killen probably can respect that. He loves himself an F4. And, all around, though, great side. So let's move on to the thrust division and complete us on the other side. So this division, some of the featured aircraft, we had that amazing F-14 Aggressor against another amazing F-4 from TCAT. F-14, sorry. I'm calling it the F4. F4 is on my mind. Then we had the other two A4s in this division. Who else did we have? From Cliff Crower. Oh, we had that T-38 Talon against the crazy double Avanti. So that was, remember, on the top right of the plane, I put whatever the base plane was. So like the free wing F5, you know, that converted to a T-38. Maybe next year I'll have to put in, you know, for things like that, what it was converted to. But only so much you could fit in that program. Moving on.
People put in a little blurb, like 2 sentences.
Maybe a little blurb. Yeah, that just shows what you did or why you did it. That might work. I just don't want to take up too much people's time. It should be quick. We had some MiG-21s in here. Those look great from Meyer and RC Aviator. We had the Balsa OV-10 from Nexa against the Flightline OV-10, which I love that scheme. Then moving on, we had T. Lewis and the B-24 with his Big Daddy versus IMAD, the only other heli that made it. So that was one of those. As I was pairing them up, I'm like, I have no pairable plane for the B-24 and this last heli, because this last heli had to get in. Then we move on. We had Captain J versus Hugh Weedman, a battle of awesome F-18s, and I think this is where we also had Air Guardians F-18 against Mojo. I was gonna put that F-16 against the other F-14 with the sort of similar aggressor scheme, but I had, you know, if I have an even amount, I keep it that way. So let's get into the results from the thrust division. So in this one, this division, like so many, surprised me because I also did not have the finalists here, but you can see right there, N-Fun and T. Lewis got the most votes in that first round, the only ones to break the 1,000 mark, with T. Lewis breaking 1,100, so they moved over. Lefty Ace, I saw his Flightline OV-10 beat the Balsa OV-10. Mojo took down Air Guardian, which was crazy, man. I was shocked about that, even though they're both gorgeous. But, you know, we both looked at that. That was one that I thought was going to move forward, but you never know. So now as we move to the Sweet 16, who advances to the Sweet 16? N-Fun versus the T-38 Talon, the Aggressor F-14, a B-24, and that F-16. And then the B-24 took it down 511 to 196, so kind of a blowout in the Sweet 16. So that moves us to our Elite 8 matchup, which was going to be Mojo, T. Lewis 95 versus N-Fun. And, you know, unbelievable how it goes down. I did not expect it, but T. Lewis took him down 366 to 254. And we've got the B-24 as our third finalist in the Final Four. So that leaves us with the weight division, which got turned into the AL-37 division just based on the amount of, AL-37s we had entered and that were worthy enough to be in the competition. So let's get started here. Just a reminder who was in the weight division. We had, again, all the beautiful AL-37. So we had the Star Wars battle for the first matchup, Scotty 75 and S. Dawson 112. It was Sith versus Jedi, if you will, good guys versus bad guys. Straight shooter against T-34 Mentor. I mean, all of these are so gorgeous.
Love those shots.
Just beautiful. Yeah, the depth in those shots, unbelievable. Crisp. Then you had J. Muhammad versus B.M. McCormick. B. McCormick, Brendan McCormick. I'll just say his name, but B. McCormick had the Jurassic Park one. Again, both beautiful. Power Jet versus Racer 600RR. Racer X is Patrick at our field. He cut that fuselage in half on the Delta on the right. And then Power Jet elongated his fuselage, so that was fun. That's what they had said in there. Then we move on to Master Yoda versus Mr. 150M with the Fireliner, which was cool. Jimmy B versus Sleep Dog, which was a great matchup. And then we get to Bet's Mums versus Jeff, Custom RC, with another Star Wars snuck in. Couldn't put it up against another Star Wars, but that scheme on the left is pretty cool too, from Bet's Mums. And last but not least, 8492nd Iowa with that awesome KC-135 craziness, the only 4 nacelled AL-37 conversion in this year's tournament, and stem wings going inverted. So let's see how this did. Boom, boom, boom. And the first round, this one surprised me. I know where I went. This, I guess, was maybe least surprising for me. I don't know. But we had 3 1,000 votes in the first round from Straight Shooter, McCormick, and Racer. So that put an interesting matchup in that second round of Patrick against Brendan, the Jurassic Park versus that, because, you know, watch the votes. The people who sent them over, this is like the closest matchup, I think, in that round, 642 to 605, whereas the other ones were, you know, hundreds of points away. But moving on was Brendan McCormick, Straight Shooter, Jimmy B, and 8492nd Iowa coming up the bottom. So now we move towards the Elite 8 coming out of the Sweet 16. 8492nd Iowa with the KC-135 conversion against Jurassic Park. So two wildly different versions
right
of AL37. This is a big matchup. I was excited. I was tallying up the score. This is why I love doing it. Just like, I don't know why. This part is what's so fun about it, because it really comes down to you guys. This is how the majority of people voted. So hit it. And boom, 8492nd Iowa takes down Brendan McCormick in a tight battle, but that is our last finalist. So our final four is going to be Mikey P versus Dave G versus T. Lewis 95 versus 8492nd Iowa, and four vastly different aircraft being in the matchup. Sort of modern F-16, Cold War F4, crazy AL airliner military conversion, and a classic B-24. So let's get into the Final Four video. I have that there, right? Yep. Final Four results. So here we are. This is where we're left. 3 more matchups, if you will, and, you know, each round there's our finalists. So let's see how it did. Just play it out. We've got, boom, Mikey P by a hair, like 12 votes. Defeated Dave G, and then T. Lewis took a commanding lead in that round, which was surprising to me. So it ended up T. Lewis versus Mikey P. And drum roll, please. Our winner by a big margin in the finals turned out to be T. Lewis, 95 with his B-24. I guess the picture was just too much for people when you've got little baby B-24 going with its big B-24. That's the second year in a row a propped up plane wins the tournament amongst a bunch of jets. Last year was Ralph Stepper's P-38, and this year it goes to T. Lewis 95. Congratulations. And now, unlike last year, he's in the chat. Is he? Kurt Lewis, man, that's you. Awesome. I feel like I've seen that picture in the past, and I'm so glad you entered it in. And it was hard with that picture to not make the tournament. It's a gorgeous picture, and you deserve it. So you are the winner of the $500 gift card. So at the end of this, or you could email me a contest, but I got your email. I believe you're in the system, but if anything, email contest@motionrc.com. Maybe Alex, you want to type that in there, just so we could see. Just shoot me an email from your Motion account, just so I can confirm that, you know, the address we have on file is you, and we'll get you that gift card out. You know, that's sent electronically, so it should go out today, if not Monday. But congratulations, man. It was awesome. And what happened this year, what I was going to say, last year, if you remember, the Ralph Stepper's plane had the most votes as the overall champ, and you could play that. Here, play this video. But when it came down to the actual voting in, he didn't win what would be the voting bracket, you know, what determined the points. But this year it all turned out he was the overall winner and the overall winner. So these are the people who got the most first place votes. McCormick came in 5th with 75. The F-14, that's who I put in that division over the B-24. Sorry, Kurt, that's who I picked. Enfun with 76. Then Dave G had 78. And then it was Rob Thomas, the 8492nd Iowa. That's who I had coming out of that division. So that was the only side I had right. And he was second place with 96. But T. Lewis really was, you know, took away a lot. 1,600 people, 148 of them. Put this baby in the final. Pause it right there for a bit. And all around, just really incredible. So now we can get on with our $250 gift card, because this was the voting bracket. The results you just saw there. So I'm going to show you, let's see the top 10. So you can...
Top 10 of the bracket.
The top 10. So here we go. So I just want to go over the rules again of how it works. So pause it there. Remember, 1,920 points is equal to a perfect bracket, and that's made up of, for every correct pick you got in the first round, you got 10 points. There are 32 first-round matchups. 10 times 32 is 320. And then every round, the points double and the matchups get cut in half. So in essence, you get 320 points for each round. And round 5 is the final 4, so there's only 2 matchups. And round 6 is just the finals. So you're getting 640 points for having that final game right. And a lot of guys did. So really, all the people who were in the top 10 had T. Lewis as their champ. And for the most part, had Mikey P against, against T. Lewis. So now we can play it, and we'll move on. Here are our top 10 scores. So keep in mind, again, 1920 was a perfect bracket. There was none of that. But the 10th place, Joseph Gonzalez with 1250. Then we got Gene Langley, Steve Kristoff, James Moss, William Crummell, John Busha, and Kurt Lewis.
Oh, man, he almost brought it
I was going to say, because, obviously, if your plane wins, you more than likely voted for yourself, so you have a good chance to double up. Like, you have a really good chance, but you have to be really perfect in those earlier rounds. But with 1310, so he did not take it down. Kurt, I thought that was him. I was like, is Kurt T? Because I would expect his Hobby Squawk name to be C. Lewis. I'm like, maybe it's a different Lewis, but I assumed it was. Then we have top 5 to 2. We had Dilip Emmanuel. Now the points jump. 1350. John Statharos with 1360. Stellan Orsani on the EU side. 1370. Bernard Leroux with 1400. But first place went to Steven Adams. Press play. It's coming. Steven Adams with 1,520 points. So a whole 120 more points. So now I can show you. Let's show what the bracket was finished before, not the winning bracket. You have just the one with the results. I think. Did I give you one?
I don't think so.
Oh, I didn't give you that one? Oh, okay. So then go to the winning bracket. Yeah. We would have to play the video, but here it is. This is what he chose. So you can see at the bottom, I put the points of how many I had wrong, but I just put an X over the matchup number. So you can see he only got 10 wrong in the first round. So he got 220 points there. He only had 5 in the second round wrong. Only 3 wrong in round 3. And then he only missed 1 final 4. Like one bracket got busted early for him because he went with, he went with Jets and Wings, I think, or no. Who'd he go with? Oh, yeah, he went with the A4. He went with the blue A4 over Dave G, and that kind of busted his final 4. But he had everyone else right. He had the final game right, and he had the main game right. So that was awesome. And then just for giggles, I'm not going to say this person's name, but I did the worst bracket that came through. So when that person checks, once I put in the results, he will be ranked 1607. So you got it's like the NFL draft. He's Mr. Irrelevant, if you will. He had 100 points. So that was his bracket. It was awesome. He had 8 right in the first round. He had 1 right in the second round, and that was it. So he didn't get anything else thereafter. Right. I just put the X's. I didn't change the names, so that's all the real winners. I just put the X's where he went wrong. So that's a busted bracket, if you will. And I only had 320 points, so I was ranked like 1,200 or something, 1,300. But either way, what do you guys think? I always have fun with that, and now this is really 2 years in a row where I've been surprised, at how it went down. I mean, B24s are gorgeous. You never know how people are going to vote in these things. It's so arbitrary. You could pick any millions of reasons why you would vote one way or the other. And obviously, one picture doesn't always justify the amount of work that went into a customized aircraft. Like, obviously, Rob Thomas's aircraft there's a ton of work there, that went in. A lot of work. And we know that. But I think only year 1, we kind of all expected that AWACS to take it down, because the airliner was relatively new. It was the first time we saw it. So that was good, but
Kurt Lewis, B-24s are super ugly.
It's the majesty of it, the romance of World War II. Something about it's romantic, People love a good B-24. Why not? But all around, that was super fun. I can't wait to do it next year. And I just say, man, instead of customizing maybe the newest thing or trying to jump into the AL37, go get you a LA7 or a 1200 millimeter Spitfire, and go nuts, because it seems prop jobs, people seem to like them around there. This horrible big microphone in front of you. I don't know. It sounds really good. I don't know why I wouldn't use a microphone. The other one, when I had it up there, sometimes I turn away and it was hard to hear. So we're doing it this way now because it's just better.
I told you we gotta hide it as like a engine or something.
Put a prop on it or something.
On the front and it'll be beautiful.
So you could spin it up on me. Yeah, Thomas. The LA7 was my finalist. Something about it, because I was trying to vote like everybody else, how I thought other people would vote. And I'm like, if last year they liked a really weathered P38, maybe the majority of people. I wasn't even thinking, a B24 in front of the in front of its daddy was going to take it down.
My finalist. I just want to throw that out there.
Air Guardian was Alex's finalist. I couldn't have Air Guardian beat the Aggressor F14. I had him close, but I think I might have had T. Lewis beat the F18. But I had the F14 and fun. I had that coming out. I thought that was the one this year. People seem to like Tomcats. Everybody loves a Tomcat. Who doesn't love a Tomcat? What am I seeing here? All right, Nate's gonna go fly his LA7. Which, Nate, you got to share the picture, man. He painted his spinner white and his backplate white, and it looks gorgeous just on your regular stock LA7 scheme. It looks great. Greetings from South Africa, yourself, Durban. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you, Stem Wings. Do the takeoff thing. He joined this morning. It disappeared before it went in. Do you remember what it was? Hit all the buttons, Alex.
Yeah, I don't even think it's hooked up.
Oh, you didn't even hit your... All right.
It's been a while.
We don't have it hooked up. But he joined the channel. Thanks, man. And congratulations. Sorry you didn't get out of the first round. It was a tough first round matchup. But that's sort of the way it goes. John Killen, B24 had was liveried up and painted, if you will. It definitely wasn't in the witchcraft scheme, that's for sure. And that's all it takes sometimes.
That's why it's so hard to vote, because you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Last year we had more B24s too in other years. I remember some really good ones that didn't make it far just based on what's there. I'm thinking next year, though, Alex, you said, maybe it's time to reopen it up to everybody again. Should we get winners from last year or people who other played, like a
prestige one.
Yeah, like a prestige one. Like next year, you could submit a new one, but then we're going to put everybody who's been in the tournament eligible to go back in. So similar aircrafts, but maybe you take a different picture this time. Maybe you do something different. We'll have to have a think about that. Because I'd love to see now with the AWACS defeat, the P38. Would the P38 make it again, That would be great. Or if anything, then maybe I can split it. Maybe we can do a jet one and we can do a prop one, or a military one.
A flight line bracket.
Or military versus civilian sport. We get a lot of Avantis. We get a lot of, now airliners. The PJ is going to be there now next year. And maybe other ones. So, but you likes to keep it new ones only. I'll have to throw it up for a vote at some point as we go. But all right, let's get into the rest of the show. It's 12:30. It's Friday and it's gorgeous outside down here, outside of Atlanta where we are. So I hope it's beautiful weather by you guys too. But we're going to start with Andy Cho when I had to change the March Mayhem because it's over now. I have to get rid of all that marketing for it. I saw this picture pop up on the group and just beautiful. He's got Guniac's fire booties inside. That's an afterburner accessory if you want to, there's a couple different people doing it, but that's Guniac's specific one. You could find him all over social media. He sells them. And he did it to not only his F-15, but he's got a beautiful field. He also did it to his F-35, and that just looks gorgeous. Sunsets, I'm jealous of that location. Looks just as good as Jeremy's or those guys out in Utah or anyone else, really. Just a beautiful shot. So thank you, Andy Cho. Then we got Anders. See in the chat, I had to throw, this was early in the month, but remember, this is the best of the month, if you will, from what I could find through our Hobby Squawk and Facebook groups and YouTube, and they got themselves some Yas39 Grippin shirts. They love them. Some Grippins. And it was nice to see the shirts because I love, make these designs. They're on Teespring. Always check it.
T-shirt designer.
I'm something of a t-shirt designer myself. So true. So that was awesome. Good to see that. Thank you. Then we move on to, I can't even read that, Alex. Amar Werney. This was the first time I saw somebody post up the PJ with the AL37. So I thought that was really nice. He has a customized AL37. I wonder if he'll end up customizing the PJ. But they look good with each other. Obviously out of scale to each other, but hey, they're both pretty big aircraft and give you a lot of fun. The wheelie time is the best on these things. Then we had Alexander. I can't pronounce that. It has
That bee's crazy looking.
It's got one of those crazy bees in it. But he posted this up. Is this the right one? Oh, I might have downloaded the wrong video. He had one where it was dark. I think I downloaded the wrong one, Alex. Unless it's on here.
It's all shot.
He turned the night. He did he added some extra lights, I think, to the PJ. And it looked great. And I obviously he posted 2 videos. And I downloaded the wrong one. So I apologize. Head over to Motion RC Customer Community. And take a look. Take a scroll through the months of posts, and you will come across it. And moving on to Braden Luke. I love this. John will like this. 2 F4s. And then he also 3D printed the ladders and everything to just make them look fun when they're sitting on the runway. That's why some of those 3D parts are always good to see. Yeah, 10 Sail Garage. You're a car man. The fire booty is what people want in their RC jets, my man. They want to put that light in there to make it look even more ever realistic. And fire booty's a good one to use to do it. For sure. So moving on, who we got? Oh, there he is. Hondro, I'm excited for this, man. This is Air Guardian's tease on something he's working on.
What is it?
He put the real one and then, After Effects in his customized EDF from Freewing, in the shot. So I don't know what's coming out of our Air Guardian's YouTube channel. You didn't release this yet, did you? I didn't miss it. Maybe you'll release it after the show if it's good, or it's going to take it. Video coming later today or tomorrow. Oh, so he's working on it right now. He is working on it right now. That's going to look awesome.
He's watching us on the second monitor. He's got Premiere open in main.
Yeah, totally. Now we got, Billy Knight. Love this conversion. So this is what I was like, fantasy, but like real. I guess this is I'm assuming this is real. Floyd Mayweather probably has his own, jet, I'm sure. Money Mayweather jet. And then he had another picture of him. They just made it there's a new PJ50 group started by Timmy Toutant, who has one where, people are going to share their customizations. There's an AL37 only group, things like that. But he made this the front page. It looks awesome. It looks absolutely awesome. Just a cool scheme. And that's what I want to do with mine. When I get around a custom, I definitely want to put it in some, whether something I like, Bruce Wayne's jet or, Stone Cold Steve Austin's jet. Yeah, stupid things like that. That's what you should do with it. It's fun. Then we've got James Bowen. You got to go back. We did the whole March Mayhem. That's what you missed. You missed a little bit. We kind of announced the winner. We gave away $750 of gift cards, and hey, you weren't here. Now I'm depressed about it. Next picture, Charles Franklin Carroll. This is he did the Bone Collector. He called it F-22, but then he did it in the same colors as his motorcycle. And I saw in this post, a lot of guys were posting planes on motorcycles. I didn't know it was a thing, but apparently RC planes on motorcycles is like, a subgenre of the hobby that might be growing in, in speed, but it looks awesome. Looks great. Now this was great too. This is another Vulcan customization, but bam, put it in the scale. I'm telling you, man, something about sports jets in scale clothing just looks really good. They just look really good because they almost look futuristic. It looks awesome. Tony Jensen went with the shield theme on the PJ. Do you have pictures of that? Did I miss that in Squawk, Tony? I might have missed that. I got to check it out if you put it on there. I would love to see that. I was thinking I should make like a Superman one, like a flying He's a superhero. Why would he need a jet? But he just has one, because why not? You know? Why wouldn't? Why wouldn't he? Oh, then we got David Snyder. So this was a fun post he popped in here.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Yeah. That's the Freewing F-14 on the bottom of a huge Skymaster F-14. Just, for scale. It's like, you should have put a banana underneath the F-14 on the bottom to really give people a good idea of the size we're looking at. But that looks awesome. I can't wait to see that fly. David, I posted it, baby. Why not? Why wouldn't I post that? It looks awesome. I don't really think they're in the same competition. I don't think guys are choosing. Do I get the 7.5 scale Skymaster, or do I grab the, was it 12.5, 14.5 scale Freewing one? I don't think.
My marriage, I want a divorce.
I love my wife. I'm getting a divorce. Kids are going to college. Kids aren't going to college. David Smout. ME262, I love this. He said he's waiting on decals. I hope he posts up a finished product, because that scheme looks better. Like the 262 used to come in more of a lighter scheme than the olive, the green that it now comes in. So this is almost bringing it back to the way it used to be, but in a much more detailed fashion. So I'm excited to see that. Oh, and then this one was cool. Eric Ish. So he was doing some flying with his Avanti FPV. And, yeah, we're going to play this one out. It's about a minute long, I think. But it's worthwhile because he's going Star Wars style with his FPV. He's got the cockpit in there, like, going hard, going through stuff, like, Yeah, I was getting Star Wars vibes.
Yeah, you're, like, moving with the screen when you watch this.
Yeah, like, this is how they would have filmed it back then, if they could have, But they just put like a fake cockpit on over the camera lens and just move the camera through the model, like, to get those shots from the TIE fighter or whatever. I want to put those sounds in, but he's going hard, man. Doing some inverted, rolling out. But you will see he has an invisible enemy at some point. But here we go. Yeah, he cuts to the chase. You see the power lines around. You gotta watch those babies.
Smoking gun on the mantle.
This just looks so good. Ruh-roh. Yep, I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And I always love, like, this happened to us too with the run cam, where, like, you don't get the whole thing. The run cam just froze. So look at this going through. I don't know if he lost it, but he was getting. Dude, there he goes. Just came out of nowhere, and then it freezes. Like, the camera just froze. And it was a customized Avanti, too. It looked good. But, yeah, we're not going to cover that one. That's not no longer under warranty, unfortunately. But all around, though, really cool. I'm sure you could put it back together and get on FPV in a jet, man. Especially with an area like that. Like, he had some... thing. We don't have any of that. We just have the bowl. Like, there's no gaps, If you have some gaps like that, like tree lines that you can follow, those cameras always make everything feel even closer than they really are. But all around, really cool. So, Eric, thanks for sharing that. I had fun watching it. Moving on to Josh Myers. Jeremy sold. You're getting some love here. This is your Slime Light package on the F-22. So if anybody wanted to do this with their, few of their mounts, he has them for the A-10, a lot of the newer generation jets would have had lights like these, right? So they just look really awesome. The slime lights, and apparently not too bad to install. You're going to have to do some work, but, I think it's worth it in the end the way it looks. So that was perfect. Josh, thanks for sharing. Now this is Garfield Houston. Which one? Oh, yeah. We'll play a little bit of this. So Garfield, he didn't make it out of the first round, but his, I voted for it. The Angry Avanti, with the shark face Avanti. Was the shark face Avanti? It was in there, right? Or maybe it didn't make the finals. No, he said it's in there. Yeah, it was in there. I don't think he made it out of the first round. Yeah, he definitely was. Now I'm forgetting because this is his real name, not his squawk name. But just seeing it fly around and whipping it around, did a whole edit on it. Crazy. But I love that. I thought it was fun and, fantasy for a sport jet. Exactly what you should do with your sport jet. But he got some video, had fun with a little edit. So thanks for sharing that, Garfield. It looks awesome. And I'm sorry you didn't get out of the first round. Then we're going to move on to, is this, Josh Myers. This is awesome. I love this. So I think this is the 90 millimeter. Yeah, I think it's the 90 millimeter F22. Either way, though, the chrome that he did to it, chromed out as 22 with the, put even more gold, I guess, on the canopy. But that just looks really cool. Yeah. Just like, similar but different. Something about it's just off enough where I love it.
Yeah, it's a little like 2030.
Yeah. Future is like that could turn into a transformer. I think it's awesome. Then John Killen, I love this post. I feel like I've seen this before. You said at the beginning of the month you like to go through your ordnance packages. Ordnance inspection, make sure nothing goes off while they're in storage. But that looks awesome, man. I'm assuming you're 3D printing all these, painting them up, like getting to work, and it looks great. John has a million F4s. He's building back his arsenal. Moving on. And then these were cool. Jay Custer. Is it Custer or Cluster? I can't see. Custer. Jay Custer with his Henlong Sherman. On the left, that's how it comes out of the box. Professional version with the metal tracks. And then bam. Made it look like it's in the snow. I was like, the only thing missing, he should have threw some, baby powder or flour all over the ground around it. Sure. Make it look like it's in the snow. That would have been great. But all around, really cool. I remember watching when tanks came out. I want to do it to one, but you use like hairspray and paint, and you really can turn these things into, the snow. So many things you could do with a model like that. Then moving on, James Bowen. You didn't miss this, but it was cool. You met up with Gary Croft, so two guys that just, I think, met through social, who loved the hobby, found out they lived near each other, so let's meet up and fly, man. And, they went out and had a good time with the Typhoon. They had other pictures on there, but it's always cool that kind of stuff happens in the hobby. That's what it's all about. So that's awesome. See you later, Chris. Dad's hanger. Give you goodbye. Then Manu, everybody knows Manu by his detailing of his planes. So it's one of the first times I saw, like, he's just out with everything, or with a lot of his planes, having some fun. So always like to see that. Then another custom Avanti Vulcan coming through. This is Breitling schemed. So we've seen this done with the Avanti and other aircraft. The L-39, I think, has a real Breitling scheme. But to see it in the Vulcan, man, the Vulcan looks cool. And I love it. I like its shape. It's awesome when it looks like that too. So you can't beat that. Yeah, the Eurofighter looked good. I think I've seen that in I think he's posted that up in the past. We've probably shown it on here before, but not with you standing there with it, which is fun. Then we're going to move along. Oh, Nicholas, Anthony Fernard. So this was N Fun with his aggressor effort. I don't know if I showed these, but he had it out. And it just looks awesome. He's got afterburners inside and all around. Finally to get to see it in the air. Looks great. He had some more awesome pictures of it. But it looks really good. Yeah, unbelievable. I'm surprised it didn't get farther than it did.
Me too.
I'm surprised it didn't get farther than it did. Couldn't take down a B-24. It's just not maneuverable enough for the B-24, I guess. Then again, the way the Flightline B-24 is powered, it might be more maneuverable than the Freewing F-14. I don't know. Probably. Then Nino Desposati, I think I got that right. Another PJ customization coming in. Simple but elegant. Like a business jet would be. He put some different graphics on the tail. Just a little bit. And then he put a clear coat across it, which really makes it, pop. That's something a lot of guys do. So, all around really cool. When you see, I love the customizations. What am I missing here? Nicholas Carell. Oh, yeah. So you got to play this with sound.
It's got sound. It's cranking.
So this one goes really quick. But, yeah, he just used a smaller motor, put a little rubber on the end of a servo arm, and a wood plate on the side of his A-10. So when he flicks the switch, the motor spins up and creates a burst sound for the A-10. and I guarantee it'll reverberate through the whole fuselage. I haven't seen an update on this yet. I'd love to hear how it sounds in the air, but just a different way to do it instead of putting a sound system in your aircraft to do it for real, you know, do it mechanically. Practical, you know. That's really cool idea to get the classic Burt. Then we got Scott Greenfield with his 1200 Spitfire Reno Racer. That looks awesome. I mean, you're not going to hear anything wrong about me. Is that Breitling too? It is a Breitling.
Looks great.
It looks great. It looks fantastic. And even the bottom, I love the black and white on the bottom. Obviously modeled after what I assume is a real one. I'm not, my Reno race game, I'm not up on it. I don't know how many Spitfires actually, you know, I know there were some in the past. I don't know if there's still any going around. But all around cool.
Chat will let you know.
Chat will let me know for sure. Then we got Tim Doss, who's working on a Dauntless from Nexa. He said he has a working bomb drop, so he made that function. So I want to see how that eventually works when he gets up there. That's one of the bigger Nexa models
It's not real.
you can grab.
Scott.
What is?
That ski
You're not real? Yo, you made it up. Oh, okay, nice.
That's even
We're
cooler.
breaking. That's even cooler because you fooled me. I wouldn't know. You could have told me. I would have spread it all over. Look at this awesome ski. It's a Spitfire. But I don't think I'm wrong. I think Spitfires have raced in the Reno race at some point, but I don't know. You know, I don't think they were beating the way those guys get crazy with those Mustangs. Probably hard to beat. Salt Productions. Now we come to the YouTube portion. Some of our YouTubers. Salt was back. This is a different type of video, air to air. And I had to change the music. He has, you know, real music in his video. But, man, they're going hard with that DJI drone. And it looks absolutely epic. Especially at their location with those mountains in the back.
Not
and
having to worry about backing into trees.
Yeah,
Not
having trees all around. Usually helps your views and your sight lines, but unbelievable. And the way this video ends, too, with, I'm going to play this one out. So we got about 13 minutes left. We have 3 more to show. But it looks absolutely stunning. You know, like now I want to see N-Fun's Aggressor up there with that sky and background. You know, would look awesome. And then this shot of the, I think it's coming up soon, but he has a shot of the F-35 coming in, flipping inverted, then flipping out of it, just without moving the camera. Or in the air as the camera's moving. It just looks so good. Oh, here we go. F-35 time. Supermarine made racers in the early days before the Spitfire. Ah, okay. Did we see it? Did I miss the shot? I was reading the comments. I think it's the last shot on here. He made a gif of it too, and it's just gorgeous. Yep, here it is. Inverted. Coming at you. Camera moving. Woo! Love that.
Great job, Jeremy.
Man. But next time, that's the opening shot to the video. That's how you open it. Then we have RC Tommy. I see an RC Tommy post. I watch it. He had out there on that ice lake again, but this time with a AL37 customized. And man, it looks cold, but it looks beautiful. And he, the landing in the title of this video is Amazingly Smooth Landing, and it's exactly what he says it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful landing. You know, you're not going to beat, you do this every time, you're never going to be ordering spare parts. This is what we strive to do with every aircraft. Should touch down like this.
The whole cabin's clapping.
The whole cabin.
They didn't know they landed.
They don't even know they're on the ground. The people are in there think they're still going down. All of a sudden they're going to pull up and be getting their luggage. That was gorgeous. Then he put it in slow-mo. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. Smooth. Yep, that's a smooth. That's a smooth one. And then last but not least, James Leisure's YouTube channel, Scott Greenfield, with his, we finally saw it in the air. This is Long Live and Prosper Vulcan. And you've got a different afterburner in there, or you got a blue one. I love it. Like the blue light really pops when you see it, especially on that cloudy day. You know, they had some clouds in there, but it really pops. So I don't know who's making the blue one, or if you changed the lights or you did it yourself. let people know in the comments. Either way, it looks awesome, man. I think that plane might have gone farther if the angle of it showed more of the, the Vulcan symbol and the long live and prosper. But either way, it was awesome. I would love to land like that once. For sure. We've all had, come on, you have to have one. Sometimes you just do it by accident. I usually land the best when I'm not trying to land the best. When I've got to land well and Alex is filming me, I don't. But then when I'm not thinking about it, I do. So it's just sort of the way it goes. But, all right, guys, we got 10 minutes on this Friday, April 1st. Again, glad to be back. Always love doing it. It gets a little more exciting because you don't do it as often. So, builds up, gets exciting to do it. So I'm happy to be here. If you have any questions for me, let's have a little talk and go. Just playing crazy. Nothing by being late to the party. Man, you did really well. You came in 5th total, 5th place, 5th most votes in the March Mayhem tournament. You got to rewind to see all the results at the beginning. We went through all the results, but it was tough. It ended up being T. Lewis 95 with his B24 taking down the tournament. And you had a heck of a matchup in the Elite 8 trying to get to the Final Four against Rob Thomas's KC 135. You were the 2 best, if you will. They were all great, but you were the 2 best as far as everybody voted. And man, it couldn't get any more different with with AL37 type of customizations. A Jurassic Park one through. 10 scale garage, yeah, these are all foam aircraft. There was only one Balsa aircraft in the March Mayhem tournament. It was one of the OV-10 Broncos. But yeah, these are all there. Med Scott, what do you think happened with those price hikes? It's the times we live in. It's everywhere I go, prices have gone up for everything. It's just how the world's going right now. Yeah, man, so many talented pilots. And again, thank you all for even submitting. I mean, it takes anyone who posts anything, you're always putting yourself out there for criticism or trolls or whatever. I'm glad people still post though and can see through all that stuff. And, it's not easy to put yourself out there and put something that you made and think, and if you didn't go as far, it's not your plane's fault, man. They all looked awesome. You should all be proud that you're doing that. That's what the hobby's all about, man. Customize it, make it look good. If you're happy with it, then that's all that matters. It's really awesome. But yeah, so many guys do such great things. Boom, boom, boom. Are we getting close to a new release? Olsen, hang tight. Been a little while. We just got the PJ50. Just came back in stock. So, just came into the warehouse, 2 weeks ago? We started shipping them out. So people are just getting them. But we're getting close, for sure. I'll definitely try to have one out there. Sorry I slacked this year. Yeah, man, slacking. Who knows if you would have even made it, though, James? That's the crutch of it. 64, it's not easy. It's not easy choosing 64 because they're all so different. And obviously, everybody, just the same way people vote, everybody has their biases. And, some people are voting on the picture. Some people are voting on the livery. Some people are voting, I was in the Navy, so I'm not voting for an Air Force plane. Who knows? There's a myriad of reasons why people vote one way or the other. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. And the same could be said about us selecting the 64. It's 4 of us who work here just picking our best and then trying to cumulatively figure out the best rather than leaving it on one person. But all around, it's for fun, and I hope people have a laugh a little bit with it and be able to listen. Yeah, that's what makes it fun, Kurt, right? I mean, I just like when I finally get all the entrants and that voting period. I love sitting there, even though it takes 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just going through because it's hard. You're like, wow, these two got to go. How do I choose between these two? Things like that. It's great. Yeah, for sure. 10 scale. Get the 70mm F-16 V2 in stock in Europa so that I can prepare a plane for next year. For sure. I mean, it'll be back there if it's not soon. Med Scott, William Jackson put his Ukrainian MiG in last year, and I was shocked. Didn't get out of the first round. It went against another MiG. It went against Chris DCE. Like, they're friends. I put them against each other. It was a more military one over the sport one. But yeah, I mean, we had William Jackson on the show. He's an unbelievable customizer as well. I love whenever he posts something. He says he's working on a big project right now, so I'm wondering if it's that gigantic 747 airliner or something. I could see that being something that William Jackson would do, but I don't know. John Killen, sorry to hear that, man. See you next time for sure. Stay tuned. Keep us posted on any more of your customizations as you build your arsenal back up. They'll look good. Stay tuned for, the F-18 special video. So you think it's going to be, coming up next? You think it's next as in after this show, or next is just your next post? If you get it done today, man, let me know. We'll share it out through the Motion channel as well. If I see it posted, we'll spread it around social media. Pontiac is just out of stock, man. That's all. They're the Black Horse. I've said numerous times. It's a niche, smaller manufacturer, of niche, big balsa products. It takes more time to make a balsa product than it does a foam product. And, with everything that's going on, it'll be back in stock for sure. But those are the type of things. With balsa, especially if you see it and it's available, get it, or you're going to wait, It's just sort of the way it is. They just don't produce them in the same amount as fast as you can produce a free wing plane or something, We're ready for another tandem flight with Patrick. Nice. F-14 and MiG-29. Yeah, we've done that. I got to get out with him. Well, Patrick, the Major is going to be in a commercial airline pilot soon. So he's been really busy. And, our schedules just haven't met up in a while. So when they do, we'll love to get out there and film with him. But, he's got a lot of stuff. What did I do? Oh.
We're getting some hardware issues, and the more you move, it's like we're getting a progressive line to develop.
Oh, yeah.
It's moving without
my nose.
The rest of your body.
I can't stop moving. I mean, anybody who's watching, I move all the time. Dumb question. 10 scale. That's not a dumb question. Of course. Balsa's huge. People are still building kits. People still build their ARFs. So it's mostly completed all Balsa aircrafts where they're already covered. You just got to add the electronics. So people basically add the servos. You're not building it straight from sticks, if you will, and glue. It's mostly put together, but there's still work to it. You got to put the right engine on and all that stuff. But yeah, Balsa is still huge, especially in the big scale stuff, They haven't gotten foam to the point where it's that big yet, where, if you go to these bigger shows, all the big 80-inch and plus wingspans are all going to be composites and Balsa, fiberglass, things like that. There's a ton of that stuff. Worry about any airplane flies, it can crash. You'd be worried about destroying them. Yeah, I mean, but that's it. You could destroy anyone. Usually, people tend to buy aircrafts that, I think everybody hopefully is spending their money knowing that you could potentially, lose it. That's sort of, you're fighting gravity. That's the only part of the RC where you're really fighting gravity. You don't have to, send your car like Kevin Talbot, and just constantly be buying parts if you don't want to. He flies his cars. But, when it comes to planes, there's always that potential that something goes wrong and then the plane goes in. But just like cars, you're fixing them up. A lot of guys will just glue foam. That's why they love foam, because most of the times you can just glue things back together and get right back up and fly. Whereas balsa, you have a bad accident, for the most part, you're rebuilding or just starting over. You're starting a bonfire with the wood. I know every time we go to our field, sometimes we'll see full planes just in the garbage pail. Yeah. Like some balsa plane just sticks in parts, and you pull it out, you notice all the servos have been ripped out. So somebody got mad, threw it in the garbage, and then somebody, decided to vulture it for parts and electronics, which is fun. But if you plan to crash, fly foamies for sure. But one thing I will say, the bigger stuff tends to fly even better. It sort of is the way. Like, you'd think the bigger ones were harder to fly, but once you get there, you realize, I don't know if it's maybe because you've been flying a lot at the time, but, sometimes you, go.
A spelling mistake there, John.
He did. That's funny. It's part of the game, kind of incentive to progress for sure. And there's that fun of it too, like, I don't know. I get whenever you fly a new plane, whenever you have a maiden, that chill you get, that like, ooh, there's an excitement to it, because you know it could be the last time, and you just hope it's epic. Have a camera rolling, just in case. Brick one is pretty much done. Yeah, my big balsa fly, my big balsa flies. John, yeah, spelling, there it is. The good thing about planes is that they always come. What are we, 3 years old? My goodness. Yes, I don't know why. Oh yeah, my L39 was in a bunch of pieces after a tip stall, but she went back together and flies great. Well, that's always the thing. Whenever you put a plane back together, you tend to care less. So I think everybody feels it flies better than it did, but only because your nerves are now gone. You know, like you don't really care. It becomes more of a beater. Everybody should have a few beater foamies that don't try to fix it perfectly. Don't always repaint it. Just leave it the way it is and go out and be dangerous with it, you know, in a good way, not like really dangerous. But, you know, inverted 5 inches off the ground. That's what it's for. Planes like that. Oh, next to Tiger Moth Awico. Love it. Flew great. Awesome. Unrecommended power. Olsen, good. I got mine hanging up there. I love that model. I'm a big fan of the older biplanes. You know, that's for that relaxing long flights that just are beautiful. And that one, man, I didn't have a problem. I had fun making those videos. I haven't gotten a chance to take it out as much, but I love it for sure. Love balsa and plywood and FG. But it is already 1. I can't believe it's 1 o'clock already. So what were your overall thoughts? Happy with Kurt? You still there, man? Congratulations. I just want to say it again. That was awesome. So again, contest@motionrc.com, but I'm pretty sure I have your your email is obviously, you submitted it when you submitted there, but just confirm it's you and we'll make sure it gets there. And then we got to get Steven Adams, who I don't know has ever been in the show. So I got to reach out to him and let him know that he won, which is awesome. So, Trish Jensen, any more last minute before we get out of here? Trish Jensen spent this winter building balsa planes while waiting for my Neptunes, for sure. Neptune. When's the next big shipment coming? You just wait and see, John. You just wait and see. Pretty happy with the results, Kurt Lewis, for sure. Man, it's awesome. I might have to make a shirt out of that. Or if you could, I don't know, maybe go on Hobby Squawk or go on Facebook and post me, do you have a picture of it not with the big one behind it? Because but then again, I could use, I'll try to use it. I might throw a Teespring shirt up. I want to do it for each of the winners because it's just awesome. Why not? But it looked awesome. Again, congratulations. Fun to see younger ones fly. They're never afraid to crash. Yeah, for sure. Look at Kyler Salt at the beginning of this. He's 9. He definitely flies better than me. F8 by Flightline a week or 2 ago. Didn't crash, but found out it doesn't like landing in the grass. The F8F by Flightline, 1,200 millimeters and below, it depends on the grass. That's really what it comes down to, That's why I hate the question, does this plane fly off grass? Because it's such a loaded question. What kind of grass are we talking about? Are you flying off of golf grass? Are you flying off rough patches? Do you have gopher holes? I can't really even do a proper grass flight video because it's not fair. My grass at my field isn't designed for, they only cut it. They don't, they never leveled it and made it an actual grass runway. It's mostly there for emergencies. Sometimes I land on the grass on purpose, if I need to. But that's, it's a tough question to answer. But 1,200s, things like, you got to be at like Joe Nall to have, to be able to do it well on grass, if you will. The rule of thumb, I think, with grass, if you put your model in the grass and the grass comes up more than half of the tire, you're probably not going to be able to take off well. And if you do, you're going to get lucky because you hit a bump. More than likely, you're not be able to lift off. That's what I've noticed, at least at my field. If I put the plane down and half of the tire, the grass is above that, I'll try it just because I got to try it. But, more than likely, it's not gonna be able to do it. You got to really get that grass down. But, all right, guys, that'll do it for us this week. Definitely stay tuned to our social media. We got a lot of stuff coming, I promise. We're going to have some fun real soon. But that'll do it for us here. I was excited to get through another year, 3rd annual. Well, really the 4th, but 3rd with a bunch of people, with real entrants. So that's now how many? 120, 64 times 3, whatever that is. We've had almost 200 aircraft come through the tournament. We have 3 winners over the years, and it's awesome. It's fun to do it every year. So now you can start planning. You got 12 months if you want to get into it. Next year, I hope to only go bigger with the prizes, maybe try something a little different. You always got to mix it up. If I could get enough entrants, I'd love to do 2 concurrently. Maybe it's time for a jets only and a prop only, or civilian sport and a scale military one. Maybe we do it like that. So, we'll figure it out, but we'll talk about that together on another show. So guys, everybody, thank you so much again. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. If you're not a guy who clicks the like button, change that. Click the like button. And as always, thank you so much for joining us for another Friday Live. We'll be back 100% on the first Friday of the next month. But maybe we'll be doing a special live one this coming month. You'll just have to wait and see. So that'll do it for us, for Alex behind the camera, and for myself, James. Love to have all you guys in here. Have a great weekend of flying, and I'll see you around on the next video. Bye, guys.